Hello, 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 and welcome to today's episode of Her Version. This podcast is dedicated to sharing stories of struggle and triumph, a platform that allows individuals to tell their truth in order to inspire and uplift others. For those of you that are new to this podcast and like content like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you follow, like, and share. I am your host, Sabrina Victoria. Let's jump right in. Hello, and thank you for joining us today on this episode of Her Version. The Her Version platform is built on storytelling and the understanding that many times our greatest learning experiences come from listening to other people's stories. Today, I am speaking with an amazing woman named Bridget Hom. Bridget is a professional emotional intelligence life and business coach. She focuses on helping entrepreneurs and leaders in industries to partner with their future successful selves, gain a romance with life, ooh la la, and create empowered client interactions. Bridget is here today to talk about her journey through addiction, motherhood, and how her life has landed her on a path of entrepreneurship. Welcome, Bridget. How are you?
Thank you so much, Sabrina. I'm fantastic.
So we were talking about your kids. We were talking about what you have learned as a mother of 3 boys.
Oh my gosh. I did learn, if anyone was listening, I did learn that I'm going to have a savings account specifically for food for their teenage years.
Yeah, that's the truth.
And that I am a role model for their future wives.
Yes.
So I have to listen to what they're thinking about, what they're talking about, and being mindful of what I say, how I dress, and how I show up, because, you can't nature and nurture, right?
Yeah.
Probably pick someone like mom.
Yeah, 100%. That's the truth too. It's kind of funny because my son is now 18 and he started dating someone, I think 17-ish. She's beautiful. All into health, really like healthy mindset, all goodness. And then she comes over, I meet her, she's blonde as could be. I'm not going to lie, there was a little part of me that was like, nothing against my blondes or any of my blonde guests, but I'm all about brunettes. But it kind of struck me a little bit, but they're absolutely adorable together. And she really is. She's a really good person. So I totally get that 100%. And the food, oh my God, girl, you don't even know. You don't.
I have 3 of them.
So when it comes to, yourself as a mom, your clients, your children, and being this role model in your life, that's a big transition from where you were previously. How does that feel, that transition from going from, more of a, I don't know how you identify with your past of addiction, but that would be a total transformation of role models there. How does that feel for you? What does that look like for you?
Well, I was really blessed to get into recovery during a time where alcoholic drinking was acceptable socially. So I always say in college, I majored in partying and minored in cuddling. So when I got into recovery, first of all, it was because I was dating a guy who started getting sober, and to be quite honest, he was getting really sane and having this serenity, and he was really happy. And I was like, oh my God, this man's going to leave me. I literally had a moment, and I said, I better work the steps and get a sponsor. And I have to win at this game of recovery, or else, we're not going to be together. And
really,
and I love to say that, God uses defects because really my motives and my intentions were entirely not in alignment with getting into the world of recovery for happy, joyous, and free. And so I always encourage anyone who is wanting to get into the world of recovery, if you have the wrong intention on why you want to stay clean and sober, that's absolutely fine. Just stick around long enough where you develop new ones.
you know what? That's so interesting because that's not what they tell you.
Well, the people that I get to sponsor, they know it. And, we actually have to empower others with the space of radical self-acceptance and not partnering with judgment or sabotage for them. They can do that enough themselves, especially getting into the rooms. But only holding their hand and say, come as you are, all are welcome. We're glad you're here.
Yeah, definitely. So with all that being said, as far as, going, I don't want to say from one extreme, because I don't necessarily know what your recovery story is, but I don't know how extreme it was. But, looking at it now, what does success mean to you now?
That's a good question. Success is not a one size fits all, as you know. Success for me today means honoring all of my roles. And I do this in my Find Your Freedom program.
Okay. What are your roles?
So I'm a Bridget, first of all, and I have to honor that role first. I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I'm a coach, and I'm an entrepreneur. So in honoring my roles, and this is one of the strategies that I help people to create and to implement into their lives, is honoring all my roles. If I am a success today, if I do that. And so each and every day, if I honor those 5 roles, I self-validate my success.
So does everyone have 5? Do some people have 6 or 3?
Everyone, we will be able to fill those slots with 5 roles. For some people who don't have children, who don't have the wife or husband role, they can have 3 for the entrepreneur role or 3 as the business owner role. But it breaks you free from partnering with sabotage about your never-ending to-do list. And that's what it comes down to, because so many coaches are saying, oh, you have to be a human being and not a human doing. Well, I say you actually need both. You need to be a good human being so you can do the doing well. And so, and the truth is, if you have no to-do list, you're either dead or unemployed. I mean, that sounds really
as far as, this, what did you call this? You didn't call them identities. What did you call them?
Your roles. Yeah, your roles. Yes.
Your roles. Is that another word for identity?
Yes and no. It's a component of your identity. It's a component of your identity. I would say that that's how you would best describe it.
Because and then within each one of those, you have duties.
Sure, you would give yourself an action step list based on your roles. So for example, many people that I see in the entrepreneurship world or business world, we lose that sense of balance in honoring all of our roles on a regular basis.
100.
Right? And so if you have this on your top 5 priorities and you honor them every day, you're going to make sure that you actually honor your relationships, your children, your business. You're going to be balanced every day, because that never-ending to-do list is secondary now to your top 5 priorities. So now you can self-validate your success if you honor those roles every day.
What happens if you're not doing all of them?
Well, typically when people ask that question, it's because they're attaching time to those roles.
Yeah.
And there's no such thing as time management. There's only task management and mind management. This helps you to do both. So when I say I honor my wife role, it might be just telling my husband that I appreciate him and finding something to appreciate him for, or leaving him a little love note, or, making dinner, which he does better than I do. Like doing something out of love to honor that role. Because most of the time we go the entire week and then we're like, oh, maybe we should spend quality time together. But if you have that focus, like this is a role I need to nurture and honor every day, you'll have that balanced, successful life.
Now, what does that look like? Is there conversations that need to be had with this? Because even just looking at my situation, I'm a total loner. I just am. Like, I'm totally fine being by myself. And my partner, my fiance, is totally different. He loves people. He loves to hang out. He loves to be with and amongst me and other people all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So is there a conversation that needs to be had with the role of being a wife or a husband and how much time is needed in that? Because what if I don't need as much as he thinks I need? How does that work?
Well, there's so many. Let me just explain this very simply. So you honoring who you are in your relationship is first, to then honoring your relationship itself. So figuring out what he needs is going to be just a matter of flipping half your statements into questions. Most people don't ask questions, and they live in confusion, lack of clarity, and the anxiety of thinking they should know what they don't know. And I say this in business situations as well. You don't have to create an empowered client interaction by all of your whatever you think is best. It's actually asking powerful questions to get to the answers and to get to the next step in a romantic relationship or in a business situation.
Yeah.
So like when we just flip half our statements into questions, you will experience your relationship and your life and your business in an entirely new way. And you'll feel less pressure, and you'll make more deposits into your serenity account and your sanity account, as I like to call it.
Definitely 100%. When, thinking of this and these roles, what happens when one of your roles changes? For instance, you get divorced. What happens with that role?
You just add a different role in. Maybe I would have two roles as Bridget. So I would do like my new programming, as I say, for myself. Like I do my morning routine. And then maybe I would do something that would also help me to grow personal development wise, or I would add another slot for entrepreneur.
Got it. So you always have 5?
Yes, I do. You really got caught up on this 5 thing.
Does everyone have
5? From what I've noticed, I've coached a good amount of people. So I've noticed the 5 always works.
Yeah, I question it only because I'm always trying my niche is time management organization. So in my mind, I'm always trying to condense. So it's like, why 5? Why not 3? That's where my mind goes right away.
That's hysterical. And I love hearing that from you. So it has to do with all the new programming that I created. When COVID hit, I was a mom who was about to get divorced. I just launched into the business world. My actual company that I was working with was in the seniors industry. And so no one could go near a senior. And then virtual school started. And when I remember going into the Zoom world, not knowing what a Zoom link was and going, all right, what do we do next? How am I going to make money? The government definitely isn't going to give me any money because, we did well financially for a time. And so I'm like, well, what's next, God? And what happened was where the top 5 priorities came from and where all these other strategies came from was studying entrepreneurs and being stuck on ready when it came to Zoom meetings, when it came to people asking me to do things in the business world or saying what they needed. I just became observant and started to create these strategies that were really serving me in personal growth as an entrepreneur and that I was seeing served others that I was meeting with. And so when I launched in the Zoom world, I had 6 clients within 6 weeks. And the Find Your Freedom program was kind of born. And I felt like I was amidst giants at first, to be quite honest, in the business world, because it was uncomfortable. And And they say, can you do this live? Can you do this podcast? Can you do this 10-minute coaching session? And I just said, yes, yes, yes. So that's the top 5 priorities were born through the yes and stuck on ready and seeing what worked and what didn't.